Well, still trying to figure stuff out. as we know, as things go. Welcome back to the Derek King Sports Show. Got a lot to talk about. So we're not going to waste time. We're going to get right into the serious topics. And that's, as you see, the Cardinal signings. Sonny Gray, Lance Lynn are really the two big ones. Gibson is the third. The way this rotation is looking is very prototypical John Mozeliak Cardinals. Nothing special. Now, that being said, I think you're getting a lot out of Sonny Gray. He's a really good number 2 guy. Do I think he's a top flight starter? I don't know. That remains to be seen. But we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see how we're going, because I still think that there's more to do within these next few months as far as trades, potential signings, who they're going to be able to bring in. I think there's a lot there. So that kind of leads us into our next bit, is the Major League Baseball winter meetings that are going to be coming up here soon. I think that you're probably seeing the Cardinals trying to position themselves to make a trade. Maybe two. I think that's where we're looking at right now, based off of what I've seen and what I've heard. We're looking potentially at 2 trades. I'm thinking that we're probably seeing the last of Tyler O'Neill as a Cardinal. I think that he's probably on his way out the door. He could be a potential trade piece. I do not see them moving on from certain particular players that have been consistently named. If you troll the halls of social media and everybody that has an opinion, like myself, that a lot of people are starting to mention names like Paul Goldschmidt and Tommy Edman, and even floated names like Nolan Arenado. Those players are not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. They're not going to be traded. The Cardinals need pitching. They do need a really, really devastating hitter. Paul Goldschmidt is on the decline. He's getting a little bit older. That's expected. Nothing really surprising there. I'm thinking that we're probably, and again, how hard is it to find second basemen that are all-star caliber second basemen? It's really, really difficult to do that. So I'm thinking going forward, we're probably looking at a trade for another couple pitchers, move some outfielders, because as the way that it looks, you have guarantee in the outfield in Jordan Walker. And I think he's, frankly, let's be fair. I think he's the heir apparent at first base. I think he's the guy. They're going to move over there to first base. I think Lars Nootbaar is probably going to be taking over a corner spot. Center field, it remains to be seen. They've tried the Tyler O'Neill experiment. That necessarily did not work. Harrison Bader was a much better option at center field when he was here. So that kind of leads me to think that, a player like Tyler O'Neill, who's been with the organization for now, 3 years plus, he's consistently shown that he cannot stay healthy, but he does have talent. He has pop. He has the ability to play pretty elite defense. He's Gold Glover. I just don't see a fit for him in this organization any longer. So there's that. We need pitching. It's that simple. So I'm thinking that's probably where we're heading at in the winter meetings. I don't want to belabor the point. I think that's just probably where we're at this stage. So I'm not going to continue too much on MLB news. We talked about the Athletics moving to Las Vegas. Rumor has it that they're exploring the options of playing in Oakland for like the next 2 or 3 years or whatever. I'm going to tell you right now, going through the NFL stuff with the Rams and everything else, if I'm Oakland, I'm telling them to just stuff it. Just leave. You want to leave. Go play someplace else. Go play in a hole in a wall. Go play in a barn. Don't really care. Just leave. Don't want you here. Don't need you here. So I think that's probably what we're what we're looking at. Um, so when we start talking about the next um, steps for the Cardinal organization going forward, you got to get a top flight starter, whoever that may be. If that's a Glass now, if that's because you missed the boat on Nola, if that's making a trade for another potential starter, then that's what you need to do. That's the moves that need to be made for the Cardinals organization going into forward in the next year. I still think that you need another hitter. And I think you need just a scary power guy that can either come off the bench or be a DH hitter. I have all the faith in the world with the guys that we have, but to be able to have that potentially coming off the bench in a DH role, I think would be absolutely terrifying if the Cardinals could get their pitching straightened out for the most part. I think that's very, very critically important. So let's go ahead and let's move on to the next. We're having a little bit of difficulties with the connection, so I apologize for that. For some reason, all of a sudden, my internet has decided to just, go the way of the dodo. So we're gonna hopefully that fixes it. I don't know. We'll see. But going into some NFL news, just the updates. Nothing new from the last couple of weeks that we've talked about, that we've discussed. It's kind of the same old thing with the NFL. We've kind of seen who the pretenders are. We've kind of seen who the real players are. We've seen a bounce back of the Denver Broncos, which has been surprising. We've seen a regression of a few teams. The one thing that I saw that I did want to touch on was something that kind of somewhat, perturbed me. Was that Denny Hamlin being in the Denny Hamlin? Hamlin. I can't think of his first name off the top of my head. The Bills player that had suffered that cardiac arrest on the field. Being at the top of the list for comeback player of the year. I mean, he's played like what, 3 snaps, half a dozen snaps. I don't know. He's comeback player of the year. I mean, I would put other people way up at the top of the list. I mean, I understand he had a, devastating, thing that happened, but I mean, come on, put somebody that's come back, that's actually playing and that's doing some stuff. Let's look at that. So, that's something that I'm not going to really understand. I know the NFL is all about, clicks, and they're trying to get exciting stuff, but that's why Taylor Swift is at games. The NFL's behind all of that. It's just, it is what it is. So I'm not going to get too deep down the NFL hole. There's nothing really new going on there. So this is just going to be kind of our open discussion portion of things. And one of the biggest things that I wanted to touch on is, I guess you could say somewhat sports related, sports entertainment related, but one of the biggest news events that happened over the weekend was in professional wrestling, or wrestling entertainment, or whatever you want to call it, with a return of CM Punk to the WWE. And that was really surprising. And you guys all know that I do like my wrestling and I do enjoy it. And, for the entertainment aspect of things. But this is a big deal. I can't really express that enough of how big of a deal this is. This guy has returned to the company that he had walked out on, that he was fired from, that he has said all sorts of really, really bad, horrible things about, and he's back. So that really is surprising to me in a lot of aspects, because I mean, if I had that many bad things to say about a company that I left, I wouldn't be going back. There's no way that I'm going back to that company if I had the kind of experiences that he says that he had. Now, that being said, there are particular people that were there at the time when he was there that are no longer there. The company is now under new ownership. new ownership TKO group. So, again, I don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole in that. It just bore people to death with talks about stocks and stock trading and things of that nature. But yeah, it's kind of a quiet week this week. Nothing really exciting. We have started into the high school football playoffs. We've got our very own Gene Bonds that's going to be covering at the state level, Hillsboro, and he's going to be up there in Columbia, and he's going to be covering that for us, and that's going to be fantastic to be up there and be able to see what's going on and hope the best for everybody involved, and wish that everybody has a great time and can stay healthy. That's the most important thing. Again, there's a lot of kids that are out there playing, that enjoy the game, that love the game, and parents are pretty involved in it, and it's a pretty important thing for a lot of people. And so I want to make sure that everybody stays safe. That's the most important part. Has fun and enjoys it and stays safe. That's the most critical part. I'm not going to stay on here any longer. This is just about all I wanted to update everybody on, is just kind of what's been going on and just make my presence known. I've been fairly busy with a lot of other things. Obviously, this is the holiday season. A lot of Christmas shopping. There's been, obviously we had Thanksgiving. I hope everybody else's Thanksgiving was fairly well. We're going to be having Christmas coming up soon, and right after that, New Year's. So I hope everybody's ready. I hope everybody's having fun. Just make sure you eat right. You take care of yourself. Get in the gym, work out. Get in the gym. Get on the bike. Get on the treadmill. Lift some weights. Do something. Take care of yourself, because this is the time of year where everybody is going to get a lot of food intake, and people are going to be drinking bad drinks, and they're going to be eating bad food and things like that. Don't fall into that trap, man. Just don't do it. Take care of yourself. Get yourself healthy. That's the most important part. And that's all I could wish, going forward. So hope everybody does well. Hope everybody has a great weekend coming up. I'll be back at the beginning of the week this next week, and we'll hopefully have a little bit more to talk about. But I don't want to belabor the point. This is Derek King signing off. I'll see you guys next week. Take care.